Reentry is actually just as important as accountability for the initial crime. Local law enforcement has to be as concerned with what happens after people are released as they are with holding them accountable for the crime to begin with, especially if you're talking about corrections at the county level, where the sentences in many jurisdictions are for a year or less, and in other jurisdictions maybe up to 2 years, but they're not nearly as long as the kinds of sentences people get when they are convicted of very serious crimes and go to state prison. People at the county level who serve time, either awaiting trial on bail or as a result of a conviction, tend to reintegrate or be released back into the community much sooner. Massachusetts is a good example of this. People are eligible for parole when they complete half of their sentence, and the maximum sentence that you can do on any single count of a complaint is 2.5 years. So at the most, you will be eligible for parole in 18 months. And if your sentence is less than that, a year or 18 months to start with, you kind of do the math. So you're talking about a significant or potentially significant group of people who may be in and out of county facilities frequently over the course of a couple of years. And every time they are going back to those same communities upon release. There are 1,800, anywhere between 1,600 and 1,800 offenders in Suffolk County, and 95% of them live within 5 miles of the facility. When they're released, they go home. And so the way that they go home, the choices that they make within those first few hours, first few days, first few weeks, have everything to do with the safety of the people who live in the communities to which they're returning. And local law enforcement has to be mindful of that, because if the wrong choices are made and crimes continue to happen and people continue to reoffend, those are going to be rearrests, and those people are going to be back into the system. So you can either, it's important to make the arrest, it's important to investigate the crime, figure out who did it, make the arrest, and hold people accountable. But if you ever want to stem the tide of the number of arrests that you have to make, the number of cases in the judicial system, then the exorbitant cost of incarcerating people at the county level, and what it ultimately costs the state to do that throughout the state, then you have to pay a great deal of attention to what you're doing or not doing upon people's release. And whatever tools you have, whether they're educational, vocational, other job-based or life skill-based tools, whatever tools you can give them to make better choices that in any way diminish the likelihood that they'll reoffend, that's good public safety.